When you're ready.
I'm ready.
So I wanted to sit down with Jason and kind of do a follow-up on the last year of doing Solarpunk Life and just have a discussion about things and kind of, what are you doing?
You want an intro first?
Want to intro what? I'm introing.
Welcome to Solarpunk Life.
No. Yes? Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's an
All right.
episode, man.
Okay, well, don't just look at me with a funny face and
Well,
assume
you don't like me interrupted you.
we don't have telepathy or anything. Let me go on. Jeez. Welcome to Solarpunk Life. Jason and I have been taking these videos, putting them out for you guys, for the community at large, for almost a year now.
Almost a year.
We are right at 500 subscribers. Thank you all very much. I think as of this recording, we're at 497. So we thought we would go ahead while we were here in the studio today recording stuff and just have kind of a retrospective look back.
Follow up, yeah.
And see where we're going to be going.
Now, we say a year.
Yeah.
We started the process of putting together, hey, let's do this. And it snowballed into different things. Initially we talked about this, I believe, what was it, in Nirvana Fallacy, or one of them where it was just a gear thing, gear-centered.
Yeah.
And we started, and you've heard the story, it snowballed into Solarpunk.
Yeah.
So right around now is when, things were starting to, the other social aspects were starting to go away, and some of our other projects socially were starting to shut down, and we would just, hey, what do we do? And it's funny, we ended up liking this a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
It has turned into this huge passion project, and it's not just two guys chewing the stuff and putting out videos to look pretty or try to catch on as the next big thing, which would be fun, but
I would love Solarpunk to catch on and really go mainstream, whether it's done by us or
well, I meant our
larger community,
particular niche in the Solarpunk community.
Bottom line, though, we're really thankful to have you all along with us so far, and the comments along the way on almost every video have been really helping us to maintain a lot of interest in doing these videos.
We haven't even seen I think we've gotten what, 2 thumbs down?
Yeah,
total, 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, 3 or 4
and
here and there.
2.
Yeah.
I keep track, because don't thumbs down us. Or thumbs down us and be like, you guys suck. Tell us why, at least. And we've had some really good creative comments too, like, hey, look, your videos are great, but hey, light warnings. Hey, your videos are great, but do you think you could
check out this restaurant? Thank you, Andy Randolph.
Yeah, and it's been interesting, and we came into this and we had that live kind of kickoff.
Where Jason was complaining that we'd done all this advertising, but we didn't know what we were doing yet.
Yeah. And I think we have managed to stick to that pretty well. But I'm not gonna lie, I've learned a lot.
Oh yeah.
It's opened a lot of doors.
Oh yeah, I've learned a lot. As well.
We've met some really cool people. We've done some really interesting shows and some interesting concepts.
Gone to some cool locations.
Eaten some good food.
Some really good food.
And again, we are in the middle of the global pandemic of the COVID-19, and we try to stay as timeless as possible, so you can watch this video and not think, man, that's like 100 years ago. But sometimes you have to acknowledge it, and it's been. I think we've managed to do pretty well for what limited.
For just starting out and learning.
Just starting out and learning, and then what limited.
We don't have that that background of producing our own shows before.
How the social shutdowns and public shutdowns have kind of limited
a lot of challenges,
what we can do.
Yeah.
Personally, I've learned a lot about Solarpunk and different concepts. I mean, you've had things that you've researched and introduced me to things like the Nirvana Fallacy, which was a great video. I think we had a really good video.
Yeah,
in a good series, and right to repair.
Right to repair. Yeah.
We had that, and
well, and you're doing a lot of research and outreach into things like we want to try to get into places like the Hideaway.
Yeah, Hideaway Cafe, Winchester, Virginia. A fantastic place. Victoria, I'm name dropping you. I emailed you. No, it's a community inclusive space. It's not just great people who run it. They're fantastic. It's great atmosphere, and it's an LGBTQI
Cafe, right?
LGBTQI. So I always switch those, and it's terrible. I'm a member of the community. It's a coffee house cafe, and it's got that coffee house vibe, but it's a safe space for everybody, and it's very touted within Winchester, Virginia. So these are the things that we really want to try to step out to. We're going to get into things, and Joe put out a "Hey, what are we up to?" video, but this is our 1 year reflection.
Yeah.
We want to get into things like animal rescue. I know Rosie works with the Blue Ridge Wildlife Center outside of Winchester. I've got friends that do animal who are really big into animals and rehabbing and taking cats and getting them off the streets.
Well, and as I said in that update, the February early update video, that our kind of our theme for this year is kind of back to the basics and looking to the future.
Mm-hmm.
And
back to the basics from a year ago.
Yeah, back to the basics. So we're going to be going through the tool library series that we're recording, and we've released some of those by the time this video has come out.
I think that I can say for both of us, and I can say for and I want to thank Rosie and Rebecca, our wives, who we drag along on some of this stuff. But hey, they gave us a really good forging episode. I want to thank Dylan and Hannah. You guys, just by default of who we hung out with in the early stages of the pandemic, have been there. We love you guys. Ty and Cora, our kids, have been learning a lot through this. So there's a lot going on behind the camera and off of the social media aspects that we haven't really talked about. And I think as people, this movement has really opened my eyes to how things work. And we try to take a positive look, and we try to kind of walk the line. We don't go into the hardcore politics, but it's helped me as a person understand different people's social point of views and how different people interact globally with governments and things like that. And I see where there is the need to make a better society and to make things better. I've learned to let go of old bias, which is very hard for anyone to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've learned how to approach those old biases with a more positive outlook and to bring legitimate questions of, yes, this exists, but how do we make it not? Or how do we tweak it? Or how can I change your mind?
So when you can approach the world with a more solarpunk mindset, and you can use that and your knowledge of your own biases, because you can never really completely get rid of all of your own biases. Nobody is completely unbiased. Then you can appreciate the information that you're being given. You can appreciate the bias of the person who's giving you the information as well. Mm-hmm. And you can use that to piece together a more complete, maybe more unbiased view of the world, and use that to then inform decisions that you make.
Correct.
And so I think that's one thing that's really been great about reaching out to people in the solarpunk community, finding other ideas. In some of the solarpunk groups on like Facebook, for example, I'm a member of a lot of them. You will get people in there who like maybe the art of solarpunk, but don't really get what the movement is about.
Or just the literary concept, like the literature, the novels that they're written, like that type of genre.
Right. And just like people will read cyberpunk and say, I want to live in that world, and you say to them, no, you really don't. People will read solarpunk and they'll pick up things that maybe we disagree with being the good parts that are missing the message, mm-hmm. or something like that. And so there are some people that are out there who are really looking at more of a primitivism movement, where they're saying, well, let's drop all technology and go live in the woods and forage for food all the time. And that's not really what we view as solarpunk, right? Solarpunk is a combination.
That could be fun, though. I mean, I'm not saying it's not fun.
But Solarpunk includes technology. It includes things like
Mm-hmm.
advanced computer stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also applied ethically to help people, to help the environment. Um, it is also not a people-centric movement, really.
Yeah.
It's more a whole holistic movement around saving the planet, saving the environment, saving the animals, and our, people being one of those animals
Mm-hmm.
in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's about building local community and shopping local and sourcing your food local and
Mm-hmm.
reducing transportation costs. But if you're going to transport stuff long distance, you do it efficiently. You do it using wind power, sailboats or large
Mm-hmm.
sailing vessels and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different people out there who are telling you their view of Solarpunk, and we're just presenting our view of what Solarpunk is, and we're
Correct.
learning from them all the time as well.
And we've kind of splashed into the pool in an interesting time, at least here in the United States. There's no secret that our politics and our government and our social standings and things like that are clearly out of whack. I think that this has becoming a solar punk, becoming more open to things, becoming more positive focused has helped me engage those things a little better than maybe I had in the past. It's pushed me very hard toward some of the values that I had, from just supporting those values to becoming an activist in those values.
Yeah.
Supporting people and supporting movements. To bring, I don't want to say power or whatever, but to bring a sense of unity back to people, to give them control of how things work and how things are going to go. And it's
And really exercising the privilege that we have to be able to afford things like a video camera and microphones and to publish videos out on YouTube, having the time to record these videos and make them available, using our privilege and our blessings to be able to share that message of positivity with other people and help educate people that there's a better way. And if we aim for that positive future that we know can happen, then maybe we'll get there. There's an analogy that's used in a lot of different sports situations, skiing, hang gliding, motorcycle riding, where if you're moving fast in a direction, if you look at what if you look at what your goal is, that's where you'll go. If you're skiing, you don't look at the trees. You look between the trees, and that's where you end up going. If you're a motorcyclist, you look between the cars. You don't look at the cars, right? And so wherever you are looking is where you might end up. And with Solarpunk, we want to provide you something to look at so that maybe that's where you'll head. And if all we look at is doom and gloom all the time, maybe that's where we'll end up. So if you're not already a Solarpunk, we invite you to join us in becoming one. There are simple things that you can do every day to try to make your world better, your neighborhood better, your community better.
reduce, reuse, recycle. Again, an old cliche, but that's what we're doing here.
Find your local tool network, tool library, instead of going out and buying that tool. If you don't have a local tool library, maybe make one. Lend your video games to your friends so that they don't have to buy their own copies. It saves everybody money and it makes less waste for the landfills. Recycle your newspaper or your paper packaging that you get products in.
Compost.
Compost.
Compost, compost, compost.
Buy fewer plastic things.
When you want something new, donate the old thing to a charity, or again, like, reference back to video games, children's hospitals or domestic abuse shelters in your area. Find a way to engage the community in a positive light. Keep positivity, I guess, flowing. Keep things
Keep a positive
spinning.
attitude. Yeah, as much as you possibly can. If you're interested in things like fashion, you don't have to necessarily buy it new off the rack. You can go to a thrift store. But fast fashion is one of the biggest forms of waste that there is. So invest in clothing that's going to last you a long period of time. I just watched a video the other day about a teacher who wore the same dress for 100 days in a row
I saw that. I didn't look at
and
it, but I
dressed it
saw the
up in
headline.
different
Yeah, yeah.
ways to
It's
prove
like
the
that.
point
It
that
was like that episode of The Simpsons where Marge finds that pink, designer dress,
I missed
and
that one.
they go into the country club.
So anyway, there's lots of different ways to be solar punk, and we invite you to find the ones that work for you. Comment below and let us know what it is that you're doing.
Hold us accountable. Call us out. If you think what we're saying right now is complete and utter bullshit, and we didn't meet those standards, tell us.
Or we've missed a bias somewhere because we're just two guys and we can't possibly know everything. And we are very open to being corrected, and we will work to improve things when we are.
Absolutely. Or if you think the complete opposite, hey, you guys have done this, or hey, you're please. This is our 1 year retrospective video. This is where we're asking you to chime in and tell us, what you think, where you think we should go next, what should we do. Hey, you're doing great. Any criticism is creative criticism at this point. We're looking to bring on another on-camera host here this year very soon. We're looking to expand a little bit. We're looking to maybe not be two privileged white guys sitting here and
we're definitely trying to get some more diverse voices on the channel.
Throwing stuff at you. We're looking for diversity. We're looking for inclusion. We're looking to promote all of these things.
The pandemic has made that hard because we're a bubble. But as people get vaccinated, please get vaccinated. We're going to bring on more voices and more faces for you to get their perspectives on what Solarpunk is. We're going to hopefully dive into some apartment living Solarpunk stuff this year. Small space Solarpunk. Definitely going to tag up on some low waste stuff. Maybe do some specific product reviews for low waste things. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you want to find out when all of our new videos come out. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter. All the other things that we list below.
There's a GoFundMe in there, if you want to assist with production costs and things like that. Just get active. We are looking at different platforms to move us away from the standard YouTube model and make things a little more accessible for everybody. We're getting bigger and we're going to try to be better, and we're going to try to make this not just our Solarpunk life, but your Solarpunk life.
And so we're trying to do gooder and
be gooder.
Be gooder. But we ask you, as always, to do good.
And be good.
Thanks for watching.